You can see it like, oh, the detail on it's kind of cute. Because it's got all of the fucking, it's got all of the, do you know what? I'm in space. Ah. My my dad would actually get a big old fucking kick out of this shit.
Yeah.
I can actually try and find my dad's house. Yeah, Sandy Bay's there. This is the fort, which is why I say flat. This is Jamestown. Oh, they put the RMS in it. Oh, that's cute. That's the boat that you sail in to get into St. Helena. And this is the harbour. So you get a boat all the way down here, and you have to walk all the way up, and that's customs right here. And then basically when the boat comes in, because it's so rare, it's every 3 weeks. So right along here, along the coast, it's just jam-packed with everyone. And the people who actually are friends and family come here. So when I was coming through St. Helena for the first time, I came across this little bridge here, and my mum was standing there and she was crying. This is the pub, it's called the Mule Yard. The tennis courts, which is right next to the St. Helena Coffee. Impossible to get it anywhere else in the world, because it's not been cross-pollinated in its entire existence. So right below me here is where my dad works. Right here. It's called the Castle. That's the local church. This is the school. Can you see it from up here? I want to see something. This is a bit of local geography. That is called the Heart-Shaped Waterfall, I believe. Is that a heart-shaped waterfall? It must be. Yeah, Heart-Shaped Waterfall. It doesn't translate to Google Street Views, but that waterfall curves up around here, and it's shaped like a heart, and the water comes straight out the middle. This is the shipping area, and around here, pretty much all of the island's desolate around here. Farms. This is it's actually quite a nice neighborhood. It's basically full of goats because that's their main meat source apart from cows, and all the cows are in here because St. Helena is either completely fucking green and lush, or it is deserted as fuck. Like right here, dark, dingy, nasty. This is Longwood. So my parents live somewhere around here at the top of the hill there. That's where my parents live. Oh, it's quite nice coming back. As gods. It's nice to return to your hometown, but you're God. Essentially, the reason I want to be successful. Come back to Alderney. Oh, yeah, I'm just stopping by before I go into Cairns. Look at my other home. That's where I want to be. St. Anne's. Essentially. Oh, that's Baru. This island is entirely populated by puffins. It's got a singular house here, and they had a puffin can recently, but they took it down because some people from Alderney sailed over from Alderney Harbour, scooped up a boat and set up signs in the front of the camera that said Roland Joyce is a twat, and he's the guy who set them up. So he got upset and took him away from everyone. This is the guns. This is where Alderney used to have the 4 artillery shells right here. So if England's here? Yeah, no, this is France and England's up there. And they assumed that if the English were to try and come back at France to reclaim after the Germans, they would scoop up around here and attack via Jersey and Guernsey.
Right.
But what they didn't know is that D-Day was going to occur. So when the English sailed through, they came this way, and the people of Alderney The Germans in Alderney, who had built the artillery here, couldn't fight them, but they could see them sailing in from the other fort, Fort Clonk right here. So they could see them sailing into D-Day, but couldn't do anything about it. So this is essentially where the Nazis realised that they were fucked. And this is the railroad. The railroad goes all the way through Alderney to the harbour, and it sails to the end of the breakwater. And on the breakwater basically continues on the track to the end. Because what happened was, ages ago, when Britain was just a naval force, they wanted to turn Alderney Harbour into the centre of the British naval force from England to Alderney, and they were planning on reshaping the entire island into an open-air military base. Like, if you were in the Navy, you would come here to do all your training, and this would be where all the generals are, so we were just in one place. But then the Air Force took off, so they stopped building. Now people just use it for fishing. This is the harbour, and that's Bernie's boat. Bernie's lovely. This is all the water of Alderney. That's the water processing plant right there. We also use it to cool down some of the electrical services. This is called the bankwash. Well, it's either the bankwash or the backwash, and that's because this around here it's all like cliffy. So this, if Alderney were to flood, this would have the backwash. That's where it comes from. This was my school, right here, and we would not be allowed to play in the playground some days because there were too many broken bottles. Because it's close to the harbour here, it's where all the pubs are. That's a pub, that's a pub, that's a pub, that's a pub, and that's a pub. That's a shop called Jean Stores. It's actually owned by a Waitrose now. But there's a fun little story about this. I don't know if you can see it, but notice how there are roofs on these houses, but there aren't any on these ones. And the story behind that is that when they were building these houses, the building office got told that they had to put little triangles on them, so they would match this side of the house, so all the front faces were matched up. What they neglected to tell them is they wanted these on so that there would be roofs. So they just built the little triangles on the side. It's completely fucking flat. Airport. You come in through Alderney, you scale around the island, and then you land right here at an angle, because that's just how Trilanders land. It's fucking scary. And this is where all the cows are kept. Alderney cows are some of the most prized dairy in the world. What else can I tell you about my island? This is the tip. If you do like DT on Alderney, you come and claim your wood from the tip, because it's just because the school can't afford to buy anything. So you would just go and get some extra wood. And the thing is, because people throw away good wood all the time because of the big construction industry, they're just great pieces of wood out there, so everyone makes a coffee table. And where's my house? Here we are. It's my house. That's you got a little drive here, and then a little enclave here. Plum tree, apple tree, pear tree, grapevine, fig plant. Outside house. Spare house. My mum turned into a gym. And this is actually a really tall tower structure, so you can look out onto the ocean. And during the summers, when my parents didn't have much work to do, they would come up here with 4 bottles of Peroni each and just watch the horizon for boats. Graveyard. Another graveyard. Look, dead people. Alderney, where people come to die. I want to tell you a story about... So I came down here with my dad, because Waitrose is the only place that sells vegetarian food on the island. we stopped off, and my dad's met this guy called. My dad's friend is called the boat. My dad's friend's called shit. Is this how far I go? Can't be. Shit. Sorry, I did this entire like stretch of water in a Pico once. Pico is a one-man sailing boat. And I went all the way to Delet, somewhere down here, and I ate Mules and Fritz. And I fell asleep at the hotel for the night. Yeah, it's quite nice. This is the nuclear power plant. You can see that at night from Alderney. So that's Guernsey. This is where my sister lives. And she lives here. It's not that far. This is the harbour. All my friends came over, did shitty work experience, but I bagged a deal working at the museum and art gallery, which essentially meant they took me to every single museum exhibition and location for a week. I did no work, and it was fantastic. So I got to go to all the art galleries. I got to go to all of the historical locations and shit like that. Let's have a look. This is England. That is Boscombe. Boscombe Pier right there. Me and Fede used to come up here and get high. A lot. Bit too much now I think about it. Look at that. Oh, it looks like rocks in a PlayStation 1 game. Yeah. Oh shit. Look at that. Look at him. That's our house. Our old house. The thing is, I think that's accurate. Yeah. That isn't accurate because we never fucking trimmed it. Oh. Yeah. Nicer than going down. That's the top of a bus. In there. Jesus. Yeah, there's your garden. There was that block that you were always worried about falling. Always nervous about that building. And they're the monoliths of Bournemouth. Yeah. Oh. So lumpy. Oh, do you know, the thing is actually, it's the fact that if you look on the side of the earth. Yeah. That's not looking down, you get used to it, and you're like, oh, I'm just floating, but then like, oh shit. Well, yeah, there is curvature. There's curvature! Yeah, fucks. You know who I'm talking about.